All right, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to welcome everybody to the American Fork City Council meeting. It is May 13th, and it's approximately 7:02 p.m. Thank you for being here. It's nice to see people in our chambers. It's not often that we see this kind of number, so it's nice to see you. We're going to begin with a public hearing. We're here to receive public comment on the declaration of real property located at approximately 700 South and 100 West to be surplused and disposed of. Anybody who'd like to make public comment, please come forward to the mic. We'd ask you to state your name for the public record, and we'd love to hear from you. Okay, seeing none, we'll go to the second item in our public hearing. That is to receive public comment on the city's fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026 tentative budget, including park tax allocations. That is an action item for later on tonight, but we would love to hear your thoughts on that and ask you to come forward at this time. All right, seeing none, we will close the public hearing and we'll move on to our regular session. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll have an invocation by Council Member Carroll, and then I will conduct the roll call. If everybody please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee this day that we could come together to meet as a city council as the American Fork. We're grateful today that we have the ability to be self-governed and to council together and making decisions that will affect all of us. We're grateful for those in our city who work to serve us, including our public safety officers. Please bless us tonight that we will have Thy Spirit with us as we go about our business. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Okay, I'll now conduct the roll call. For the public record, Councilmember Hunter will not be present tonight. He's out of town. Councilmember Hawley.
Here.
Councilmember John.
Here.
Councilmember Carroll.
Here.
Councilmember Taylor.
Here.
Okay, item number 2, I am going to just switch and just maybe head this way. Okay, we have a couple really neat items, number 2 and 3. I am just going to prepare those that might have a plaque in their hand. Have at least 30 seconds to a minute in the back of your head to say something here, okay? So just preparation. I went to a meeting today, I had all of 30 seconds, as you know. Sorry. That's okay. You know, it is one of the neat things about American Fork. We have a thriving recreational program, and I love the fact that as we talk recreation now in the city, we talk about how we bring in our seniors and how they're a vital part. It's a vital part of their life. We work with them in so many ways. We use the facilities that we have and special people that have assignment, and they have been recognized beyond just us as a city, but by the Utah State Parks and Recreation Association. So I'm going to invite Leanne Powell to come forward. She is the current executive director. And Leanne, I'm going to give you this mic and just stand aside.
And more than 30 seconds.
And yes, and then tell me who's with you here. Who's with you?
This is Mikkel Christensen.
Mikkel?
She's our assistant
Okay.
executive director for our association. Mayor, thank you so much for the time. Thank you so much, Council and Mayor. We appreciate you giving us time. This feels kind of awkward because usually I'm right. Yeah, nope, I get it. So, Utah Recreation and Parks Association, we are an association of about 2,000 members, parks and recreation professionals throughout the state of Utah. And each year, as we gear up for our annual conference, we take nominations for a lot of different awards. And we had over, I think, 115 award nominations this past year. And then we get all of our past presidents spend a lot of time with this thick book that's about 150 pages long, going through each and every one of the awards and kind of deciding who should be recognized for some of the different awards. So we are honored to be here. This is, quite honestly, Mikhail and I's favorite nights of the year is when we get to go back to the communities and celebrate the great work that your Parks and Recreation and staff are doing, and the senior center, and all of the things that are happening. So the first award that we want to give out is for the Outstanding Active Aging Professional, and it's going to go to Cindy. And what I would like to say about this, and Cindy will be the first one. Yeah, come on up.
It's always good to embarrass me.
All right. So Cindy, I am sure, will be the absolute first person to say this is a team award, right? It's not about her, it's about Janet and Stan and all of the staff and all of the volunteers, and mostly the seniors that they get to serve. It is definitely a team effort. From a statewide level, the thing that we see that probably set Cindy apart from some of her peers, as an association, we've really tried to start focusing on active aging. We're trying to put a network of those that are running senior centers, and some of them land under Parks and Recreation and some of them don't, but trying to pull that group together and provide training and networking and opportunities like we do. And Cindy has really led, she's taught classes at our conference, she's part of that group, she's always coming up with ideas on how to do better and better and sharing those ideas with folks. And I think, just the story of kind of how the senior center here in American Fork, and we all know COVID was terrible and it is so hard, and just the steps that Cindy and the entire staff and the entire Parks and Recreation Department took to try to make sure that our seniors, and really all the population, but especially those seniors, were taken care of, had opportunities, still had meals, had an ability to come together. And so we are just honored to be here tonight to recognize Cindy and the great work that she's doing as our Outstanding Active Aging Professional. Congratulations. That's a picture.
Awesome.
From
Love it.
conference.
Thank you.
I can take that.
Okay, so it really does take a team. And I wouldn't be here had it not been for our team. And Stan and Kathy, Janet, all of our board, thank you so much. This is a big job, and I am just so thankful for the wonderful people that I work with every day. This is the best job on the planet. I'm sorry for all the rest of you that have other jobs, because this one is the best. I am so happy, and what a gift it is to be here with these wonderful people. So thank you very much.
All right, and then the second award that we have here tonight is for Department of the Year for the American Fork Community Services Department. And again, we get those past presidents in a room, and we have over 125 agencies that are represented with Utah Recreation and Parks Association. So, what makes a community stand out from another community? How do you take 25 different agencies that have put in nominations and say, this is our outstanding department? So I guess a little peek behind the curtain, one of the things in our profession is we have 3 pillars that we feel very strongly about. One of those is health and wellness. And what are we doing to make sure we are providing opportunities not just to play, but to become healthier as individuals and all of our entire community. And I think, along with that, just programming, the quality of programming, the thing that goes into, again, a team coming together and putting all the parts together. I think correct me if I'm wrong, Derek, 2022 is when parks, cemetery, trails, city maintenance all came kind of under that same umbrella. And I think the work that they're doing as an entire team to try to take that and leverage it to do more for the community is part of what went into that decision, the focus on health and wellness. The second pillar that we're focusing on is environmental stewardship. And so to look at some of the projects, to take what is normally a $1 million budget and go out and get grants and then be able to do new trails and new pickleball courts and redo the boat launch at Utah Lake, like all those things go into how do we take care of our land and be good stewards and teach our children to be good stewards of that land. So lots of great work going on kind of in that realm. And then a third pillar is access for all. And it's really reaching out, and it kind of speaks to what Cindy and her team are doing is how do we reach all of our citizens? How do we go kind of cradle to grave and do stuff for everyone? And I'm in one of the kind of cool programs, actually another one that got an award that you'll see as it kind of trickles down is we had a group of kind of here in northern Utah County that said we need to do more adaptive. We need to really find out what the needs are in our different communities and figure out a way to do more adaptive. So, and inclusion into those programs. So a group of, kind of led by Kate and Megan Zollinger in Pleasant Grove got together and said, we might not have the resources to do a program in soccer and a program in t-ball and a program in all the different areas, but could we come together as northern Utah County and provide those services? And like one city will do t-ball and one city will do soccer, and it's kind of just about 6 or 7 months into that kind of process, and it's miraculous. Like the stories that Kate could tell you about families that have come in and thanked her for the work that they're doing is incredible. And that's that access for all, right? Like how do we do the hard work of trying to reach everyone where they're at and build community? And so for all those reasons, your team are definitely state leaders. Obviously, we just recognized Cindy. Kate is the KERPA, so we're divided into regions. She's our KERPA president, has been for the last 2 years, serves on our board of directors, doing great work there. Joey in aquatics, we spend a lot of time and effort trying to figure out ways for people to be safe in, around, and on the water. And he's really spearheaded keeping that aquatics group together statewide, talking about how we do great things in aquatics. Jordan just graduated from our Leadership Academy, and Derek, I got to be president with Derek when he was president. We were kind of both at the same time. He was actually one of the people that hired me to be standing here as an executive director. So you have statewide leadership that is doing great work, and obviously you can see that in everything great that's happening in your community. So for all those reasons, great team effort. We're here to honor your Community Services Department as our Outstanding Department of the Year.
Let's have everybody come up. Who's the 30-second speech? Is it you or Derek? All right, you know what? We're going to have Derek. They nominated you to be right here next. To accept that award.
Okay. Patrick and Sam are in the back razzing me and said to take about 5 to 10 minutes because they want to stretch this out. But Stan, do you want to come up while I'm talking and get in the picture with us? We recognized Stan at the beginning before you got here. Stan, you and Kathy and the work that you do at the Senior Center to lead us. But just thanks, Mayor and Council. This is really, I guess as I look at it, we've always had the support of our Mayor and Council in community services and recreation, fitness, and all the things that we do. So I hope you recognize this as thank you for the commitment that you make to our community with funding, with resources, and all the things. And then thank you to David and Camden for the leadership to allow us to do the things that we want to try and do. So we definitely feel the support. It allows them, I feel like my job is to help them do their job and be successful. So it really is recognizing this team for all of the things that Leanne mentioned. I'm so grateful to come to work to get to be with them and watch the things that they do for our community. And I love it. To live here, work here, play here, American Fork is the place to be. So thank you. It's great.
Let's get everybody in. I want to put me in and then take me out. Okay, I'm going to get out now, so you can pick it. Okay, you know what, let's shake some hands.
Great job, guys. Yeah.
Go ahead, Leanne.
And the mayor said I could take like 10 more minutes and just stand this way. No, the other thing I want to recognize is that when we honor your department, we're also honoring you guys. Like, it takes a commitment. It's a monetary, it's a support commitment on your behalf to support these programs and let them do the things they do. So without your support, they couldn't be out there doing the great work that they're doing. And it shows, and we know that Parks and Recreation end up being the heart and soul of every community when they're out there doing it right, and that is like 1000% true here in American Fork. So just wanted to say thank you for the efforts that you're making as well.
Thank you. Okay, we'll now move on to item number 4. And that is, we're here to receive public comment for anybody that would like to address the mayor, the councils, the senior staff. It's an open mic. We would ask you to state your name for the public record and limit your comments to 2 minutes. I have one that has submitted a paper. I'm going to take her first, but we're not limited to this one person. But I'm going to ask Karen McQuay to come forward this time.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I will try to keep it at 2 minutes, but if I stumble on words, it might be 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay, what I would like to address are my concerns and many other people that live in the cities about our local animal shelters. Today, Utah has 59 animal shelters. Of those, 4 have reached a no-kill status. No-kill means saving every dog and cat in a shelter who can be saved. Typically, number of shelter pets who are suffering from irreparable medical or behavioral issues that compromise their quality of life and prevent them from being rehomed is not more than 10%. Therefore, shelters that meet 90% save rate benchmark are no-kill. In the U.S., nearly 2 out of 3 shelters achieved no-kill last year, but still every 90 seconds a dog or cat is killed in the U.S. shelter system simply because they don't have a safe place to call home. This is a solvable issue, and you can be part of the solution. In Utah, Uinta was 19 animals away from no kill last year. Tooele, only 1 animal away from achieving no kill. Utah County North Shelter was 531 lives away from no kill. South Valley Shelter was 736 lives away from a 90% save rate. The only 2 shelters with horrible statistics are right here in Utah County. I've made copies of some stats showing animal ownership, revenue spent, projected sales, employment based on animal ownership. We are in 2025. Pets have become family. When animal shelters, governments, community members value the philosophical principles of no kill, and work together to implement systems and programs to uphold these principles, it's possible to achieve a community sheltering system in which euthanasia is performed only in the act of mercy. February 27th of 2024, Governor Cox declared 2024 as a no-kill shelter year. We're almost there, except for Utah County. I can email you more information with my contact if you're interested. I think American Fork City should be a leader in making our community better by changing the way the shelter is operated, the way cities act toward pet ownership, and stepping up and being proactive instead of staying in the dark ages. We can all make a difference. I feel the special service district makes it impossible for anyone to be held accountable. A different form of sheltering needs to be addressed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. Karen, we just appointed Lieutenant Archuleta as our city representative of that board. I'm going to give this information to him.
I did see that, and I have contacted Josh Christensen, which turned over to Cameron, which turned over to Stuart, which now there's a new guy. I've been to meetings for a year and a half down at that place. We can talk.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Anybody else that would like to make a public comment? Okay. Seeing none, we will close the public comment period, and we'll move on to item number 5, our city administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I wish Cindy and the rec department was still here because I know there's going to be some comments made by all of us towards them. But Cindy is such a fantastic person and does so much good for our seniors. There is a passion that she has that you just can't deny it. She loves her job, and we heard that. She loves serving the seniors, and so I want to congratulate her and thank her for all of the work she does. Along with our recreation department, they provide so much good to our city, and it's from the youth, from children, all the way up to the seniors. And they're so active in trying to figure out ways to engage the community. And I remember a couple years ago when we asked Derek to kind of take on a little bit different role, broaden his umbrella. We did bring different departments and different divisions underneath him and said, hey, Derek, we want you to run with this and make it even better. And he took that bull by the horns and just did a really good job. And so I really appreciate Derek and the team that he has for the work that they do. So I just want to say that publicly and thank them for what they do. One other thing, if you'll just indulge me for just a second. This week is National Police Week. And National Police Week started in 1962. President John F. Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as the National Peace Officers Memorial Day. And the week that includes May 15th is National Police Week. So it was a joint resolution by Congress that was passed. And so during National Police Week, we recognize our law enforcement officers for the work that they do, and also recognize those law enforcement officers who give their lives in the service of the communities that they serve. And I had looked up some statistics on how many police officers have been killed during the years in the line of service. And we peaked in 2021. 677 law enforcement officers died in 2021, and that's so many. Last year in 2024, there was 148. So the trend is going the right direction, down. But it, at times, can be a thankless job. But I want our officers and our police department to know how much I appreciate all the work that they do and the dedication that they give to our city. They run, when people are running away from danger, they are looking for ways to solve that. And it's a very difficult job at times. And so I just want our police department to know how much I appreciate them. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll now move on to council reports, and I'll start with Councilmember Holly.
Mayor, I just have a couple quick things, and I do want to say thank you to the Parks and Recs Department. It is a big quality of life service that we have in our community, and it's definitely something that I feel is pretty special in our city, and it's not one of those things that obviously is a revenue generating product of the city. It's something that we give collectively out of the city revenues. And so I appreciate all those who help make living in American Fork just that much better with their different programs and services that they offer, especially for the older members of our community. So a couple of items, though. The graduation season is upon us, and as I brought up last year, the Life Skills graduation does a separate graduation. It's a small group this year. I think it's only 4 or 5 students, but their graduation is this Friday, 16 May at 10:30 a.m. in the auditorium at the high school. So anybody who can break away and come congratulate and celebrate those few students who are graduating, it's always appreciated. The cemetery committee is looking for a couple of members. We have a couple who are moving out of state and have served well on the committee. So if anybody's interested in joining the cemetery committee, no experience is needed, just a willingness to serve in our community. And I'll also be making some kind of social media post about that to see if we can get a couple more volunteers. And then the Memorial Day program is coming up in about 2 weeks from yesterday, I guess. It's on 26 May, and it's at 11 a.m. at the Tabernacle here right across the street. And it's just always a great way to come out and remember and honor those who have given their lives in the service of our country, and just a good way to spend the day off that we all have. And this year we have a special guest speaker, not to be missed. I don't know if we want to spoil the surprise, but you might hear from the mayor a little bit more than we're used to. But
I wasn't planning on saying a word.
but to get more people out, so the mayor will be our guest speaker, and so we're excited to have him present, share some words about this special day. So I invite all to come out. So once again, that's 26 May, 11 a.m. at the Tabernacle. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you for that report. Councilmember John.
A couple quick things, Mayor. We had our 911 board meeting for this last month, and it's public knowledge, the 911 board got hit with ransomware. And it is, as we, in fact, today, I did a phishing alert that I said, no, that's bad, and the computer said, George said, yep, you got caught, you didn't click on the link, you marked it as phishing. They call them a threat actor. This is a known group that targets public safety and governments, and it's well known in the state and the nation. The very same day that this happened, we had the FBI and Department of Homeland Security the next day. We never dropped a 911 call, and not a single 911 was missed. We did not drop anything that happened to support our law enforcement or fire in our area for Central 911. So we did a good job in containing it. To make a long story short, it's been rectified, and they are getting better. As long as we try and keep our people better, they just keep getting better and better to try and get through. But from a safety standpoint, nothing happened. So they did a really good job. The downside is it's going to cost us a little more money to up our game even more to be able to be more, to be safer against this type of threat activity. Then the last one. So, as David Bunker said so eloquently, it was Law Enforcement Week. You know, we lost Sergeant Hoosier last year here in Utah County, and from Santa Clara Police Department. And when it came time to place his plaque upon the wall, Santa Clara Police Department did not have an honor guard. They're not large enough. They don't have an honor guard. So they asked American Fork Honor Guard to do that. And the chief sent me some pictures, and I got to tell you, it exemplifies the type of people that we have in our city that stepped up, that Santa Clara asked us to do the honor guard for them, to place that plaque, and to present the flag to his widow again. So I am grateful to Chief Paul and his group for the selfless service that they do every day that we don't see. And like David said, when we're all running away, they're running toward it, trying to solve the problem. But I want you to know that we were recognized by their peers in Utah County as being caring and I don't know how else I can word it, but caring and loving for the law enforcement brothers and sisters that they serve. So, Chief Paul, thank you for everything that you do. That's all I have there.
Thank you for that report. Councilmember Carroll.
Okay, thanks, Mayor. I will just say that I am very, very thrilled that Community Services got the Department of the Year. That's very exciting. I'm very proud of the things that they do, and I don't mean pride in as I had anything to do with it, of course, but just that we are associated with that, and that we get to participate in those things in our community and be together as a group of people that live together and want to be together or participate in things together. All the way, I mean, I think from the day I moved in here, it was something, we were either doing parks things or we were doing lots of kids that have been in all the sports things and then our still days things, and there's just so many things that we do that bring the community together. So I'm really pleased that we got that. The other thing is I'll give a quick report that the Park Tax Committee has been reconvened for next week to meet together to come up with some recommendations for policy changes. So you could be watching for that. Just wanted to let you know that that is in the works. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Taylor?
Thank you, Mayor. I have the good fortune of being able to be on the Parks and Recreation Trails Board, or to be the representation from the city council on there. And so each week we get to hear, this past week we heard from Joey, everything that was going on, from taking the bubble down to everything that's happening with the pool. And our recreation program is honestly second to none with all of the things that we're doing, all of the things that we take on. That adaptive, that is a touching presentation. If you have some time, and Caitlin has some time, you ought to have her go up and present that to her and see what's being done, because it's fantastic. And people like, Cindy Healy, who do such a tremendous job, and people like Kathy and Stan Street, who are pillars in our community. And we think how many times since this latest term we've heard from MAG and different people how incredible our seniors program is. And man, that's a sign of a good community in my mind, where we're looking after everyone and taking care of that. It's touching. It just makes me well up. I'm just so grateful for those programs. And even tonight with my classmate Karen McCoy here, talking about the animals, and it's a big ecosystem. We're all kind of looking out for one another, trying to take care of one another, and it's like the last bastion of community exists right here. This is where we look after everyone. This is where we share varying opinions, but can still get along and be decent and kind of go through those things. And I for one, am very appreciative of that. And I think one of the things that puts a bow on that is our police department. And all of the council in the past couple of months has had the opportunity to go on ride-alongs with the police department. And you think it's going to be low-key, innocuous little ride throughout this, maybe stop and see someone get a ticket. But two of us were actually dispatched for different things where people had lost their lives, and they walked in, and the police do that on a routine basis every day. And I'm going, holy cow, this person's dead. Yeah, Clark, if you'll just stay back out of the way, we'll take care of things. And just what is routine and everyday to them is, life-altering to us. And they take that in stride, and they look after our community. And so I just want to tell Chief Paul I really appreciate everything that he and his staff do. And I'm grateful to live in the community that I do. So thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item number 7 for the mayor's report. I'll just say this: there's nothing that thrills me more than when I go by a park and I just see it full of people, and it's just getting used up. Art and I drove through there just late last week, and it was full. The dog park, I don't know how many were there. Kids playing soccer, organized. There, the pickleball. There was some spike ball going over, and I thought that just brings us a lot of joy. I think I can speak for everything. And the resources we put in these quality of life things and the people. Could we say we could improve? Yeah, I think we probably could say that about anything. But I think that if we're honest for ourselves, American Fork's doing a pretty good job. And we're open to ideas, of course, but we empower our staff. And that, to me, is a very key principle in making something work, giving them the tools they need and let them go to work, get out of their way. And it's never disappointed us in anything that we've done. and we're a well-rounded community. Today, there was an event at the Senior Center where Governor Herbert brought in some staff, and they were just trying to look holistically at the needs of seniors. And I walked in there, and it was just full. And in fact, the person that was there that was basically leading out and forming these little groups and having discussion points, they have been all over the state, and they haven't seen a senior center with more people in it than American Fork. And that just is goes to show the commitment that we have to our seniors. Again, Stan, Kathy, thank you for and the board. It takes a big group of people. And she handed me a mic. I didn't know, I just thought I was just going to walk in. So she handed me a mic. I'll tell you what I told them, the people there, because it was the seniors. And I said, you know what? I hope you know I invoked the name of the council and the mayor. We support our seniors. In fact, I think we stand on their shoulders. We have a debt of gratitude that we owe you. And the services that we provide are just something we can say thank you. And we're learning that when we talk about physical health and recreation, it all leads into the mental health. And the having an individual well-rounded in what they do and their health and body and mind. And we see that, and we have great organizations in the park tax. We're going to talk about that tonight. Again, another little feather in our cap for American Fork City, that we use those funds, and we're wise in how we use them for the betterment of our community. Last and not least, but I wanted to talk about real quickly about our police department as well. Sergeant Huser, when that started, and that thing really started to gain momentum, I got a call from their mayor. And he just could not say enough about Chief Paul and our police department and how we supported that little town of Santaquin. And it just goes to show that that was not forgotten, that even when they had an event up at the Capitol, there was American Fork side by side with Santaquin. It's a brotherhood, sisterhood, and I think to myself, who on their daily life goes to work and has to put on a bulletproof vest to go to work? And that says something about the individual that is willing to do that. It's so unpredictable what a day might be. You might think it's just routine, but really the life of a policeman is anything but predictable. People, emotions, the elements that are around them, it causes things. And there is our police department right in the middle of it. I feel like we have the best. And I know they're going to hear some of this tonight. I hope we'll maybe give them this audio, Chief, but they're going to hear from me personally as well at the department. But we had an event last week where it was a business that had an incredible group come in. About 1,200 people participated in a car show. It was a really different kind of a car show. There is our police department. So there, when you see a policeman, they absolutely represent our community in every way. And having them present, their uniform, their cars say it, and we're thankful for them. So that is the mayor's report. And we'll move on to our common consent agenda. It consists of only 6 items that are before you. We are going to poll item number 1, and we want to review those minutes, and we'll bring them back at a later date. So it's items 2 through 7. If there's any questions, if not, I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve items 2 through 7 on the common consent agenda.
I'll second.
You have a motion by Councilmember Carroll, second by Councilmember Taylor. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, I'll call for a vote. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor.
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to our action items. Action item number 1, we're going to load up the Historical Preservation Committee, and we have 2 appointees to present to you as the council. Jane Ann Woodhead with term ending 2028, and Caitlin Paskett with term ending 2028. Does this complete that committee?
And this is more than complete. This is actually members number 6 and 7. So it's pretty awesome to basically go from one resident member about a year and a half ago to having 7 active people with a diversity of background that are energized and excited to work on some projects. And so these 2 have already been at the past couple meetings that we've had, and they have some ideas, and they bring their backgrounds, and I'm very excited for what's going on now with our little HPC, and so yeah.
Great. Okay, any questions?
Mayor, I'd move to approve the appointment of Jane Ann Woodward and Caitlin Paskett to the Historic Preservation Commission with terms ending 2028.
Okay. I got Jane Woodhead.
Woodhead.
Oh.
I'll second that.
Okay. I have a motion by Councilmember Holly, second by Councilmember John. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, I'll call for a vote. Councilmember John?
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll?
Aye.
Councilmember Holly?
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor?
Aye.
Item number 2 is review and action on a request for a temporary seasonal use license known as Gooey Gourmet Brownies, located at approximately 850 West, 700 North. I think last year it was a snow shack. Now we can get Gooey Brownies on that corner.
I just want, this has to be renewed every year? Is that how this seasonal use, okay.
I dare somebody not to make a motion on this.
It seems like before we did this, we would have had some type of sample. I'll go ahead and make a motion.
You're going to want to bribe you. You can come next time.
Well, once this vote's in, you're open to do anything you need to there.
I will bring as many as
I move to approve the temporary seasonal use for Gooey Gourmet Brownies located at approximately 850 West, 700 North, subject to the requirements of section 17.5.122, temporary and seasonal uses.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Taylor, second by Councilmember Holly. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, I will call for a vote. Councilmember Carroll?
Aye.
Councilmember John?
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor?
Aye.
Councilmember Holly?
Aye.
Item number 3 is review and action on an ordinance approving a zone change known as Learning Blocks Daycare located at approximately 355 East, 200 South on approximately .61 acres. The property proposes to change from the GC1 zone to the R2 7500 residential zone. Patrick, I'll have you stay there unless there's questions from the council.
I mean, Mayor, they're just going back to what they were. So I would move to adopt the ordinance for proposed zone change located at 355 East, 200 South from the GC1 zone to the R2 7500 zone.
Motion by Councilmember Taylor,
I'll second that.
second by Councilmember Carroll. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, I will call for a vote. Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Okay, item number 4 is a review and action on acceptance of the city's fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026 tentative budget.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you is the presentation of the tentative budget for fiscal year 2026, beginning July 1st of this year. So a couple things, just want to go over the budget process. We had our first meeting in February with our budget workshop. That included all of the department heads and council where we set our priorities for the year. We had 3 budget work sessions during March and April. All funds were broken down and discussed. We had our budget open house last week on May 6th. And then as required by state law, we're here to accept the tentative budget. Our budget is posted on the city website, and we will be discussing the budget book at another work session on June 3rd with final adoption set for June 10th. So that's been our budget process. It's been a very open and transparent process. We've discussed every aspect of the budget. A couple highlights. We have the budget in brief that we published, and there's some copies back there in the room. We have a $143 million budget. 53% of that is for capital investment, so about a total of $76 million. Our general fund is balanced as required by state law. We have a $37.9 million budget with 54% dedicated to public safety. We do budget conservatively. We estimated revenues pretty flat this year, and so it creates a challenge when we have very high inflation still. We tightened our belts. All unnecessary expenses were eliminated. We were very, again, conservative and have a balanced budget. So if there's any questions with it, again, we'll go over it at a work session on June 3rd, but happy to answer any questions that you have.
I think we've been kind of drinking and sleeping the budget for a while. I know you have.
Mayor, I would move the approval of the fiscal year, move approval of the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026 proposed budget, and set the public hearing for the adoption of the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget for Tuesday, June 10th, 2025 at 7 p.m.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Taylor,
Second.
second by Councilmember John. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, I will call for a vote. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor.
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Hawley.
Aye.
And a thank you, David. Thank you, all our department heads. That's a quick action, really, of months and months and months of work, just that countless hours.
Doesn't seem like it does it justice.
Yeah,
I know.
Go page by page through that beast.
so.
Beast in a good way, of course, and very.
Okay, item number 5 is review and action on a resolution approving the declaration of real property located approximately 700 South, 100 West to be surplus and disposed of. This was in conjunction with our public hearing today. Any questions on this? Okay,
Mayor, I move to adopt the resolution approving the declaration of property at 700 South, 100 West to be surplus and authorize the city to sign the documents.
okay. A motion by Councilmember Hawley,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Taylor. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, I will call for a vote. Councilmember Hawley,
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll,
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor,
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Okay, item number 6 is a consideration and action to enter into a closed session to discuss items described in Utah State Code 52-4-204 and 52-4-205. Council, tonight, we will be discussing real estate property. We will leave from this quarters. We will head downstairs, and we will have our closed session. When that is complete, we will open the door, and then we will convene our city council meeting from there. So with that being said, we have a motion to enter into a closed session.
Mayor, I move we enter into closed session to discuss items described in Utah State Code 52-4-204 and 52-4-205.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember John,
Second.
second by Councilmember Taylor. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, Councilmember Carroll,
Aye.
Councilmember John,
Aye.
Councilmember Hawley,
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor.
Aye.
Okay, again, thank you for everybody for being here tonight. And we will meet downstairs as a group, and then we will convene from there. Thank you.